on the supply chain management. And one thing is about small business for the supply chain. Yeah. There are three major small business concerns. First one for the small business is about inventory management. We have spent a lot of time on this topic. Well, it's always a balance, right? So it's, you carry more, you lose money. You carry less, you have shortage. That's the problem. But why it's extremely hard for small business for inventory management compared to big company? Why this is? We point this out for small business. Well, everybody has to manage their inventory well, right? But why small business they have really dilemma?
Maybe the small businesses don't have the like the electronic form, or they have to do it. They have to count their inventory manually and stuff.
Yeah, IT infrastructure definitely is a problem, making it hard. Very good point, Joseph. Any other reason, Dylan?
They may not have the connections to get supplies in a faster rate, so they have to be aware of how long it's going to take them to get the supplies that they need.
Basically, you talk about variability. Variability, usually they face higher variability than big companies, right? Lead time, or even customers demand can have a wide variability. On the other hand, their capacity is limited. Even they have make a good forecast. They will double the demand next week. They don't have the warehouse, right? Compared to big business. Usually they have actual capacity. So that's make small business extremely hard for the inventory management. Risk reduction. Okay, for small business, you want to use only reliable supplier. That's why we talk about outsourcing. If you are doing small business, right, you don't want to find a supplier usually out of country because, well, you are a small player, right? You don't know this company very well. Maybe you know this well, but still a risk, right? Determine which suppliers are critical and get to know them and any challenges they have. Know your supplier. Measure their performance, monitor them. Recognize some warning signs for supply issues, quality issue, the delay issue, or something like that. Have some plan to manage your supply chain problems. International trade. Well, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, even small business we go international nowadays, right? Our customer all over the world, we can find some supplier out of country. And the challenge is that you have to work with someone. Okay, you want to work with someone who has expertise to help oversee foreign suppliers. Right? Expectation for demand and timing. Don't rely on a single supplier. Even you are doing small business. I would say for small business, usually they only have one single supplier, usually. But you should have backup supplier. Right? Why is this supplier this week can't satisfy our demand? You can't tell your customer that we don't have anything. Right? Hopefully you have a backup supplier like this. Build goodwill to help in negotiation and resolve any problem. Right? You should consider use domestic suppliers if the risk of working with the foreign suppliers are prohibitive. Do you know where is our president now in? Do you know where is our president? Beijing. So our president has 12 days travel in the East Asian country. I think that is almost creates a record. That's the longest time spent on Asian country, right? Well, you heard about president say a lot of things. It's very different with what he has done in the past. Right? He said about trade. He said about increase the tax rates for foreign companies, threatening to have like trade war with different countries. But you see, he's a very successful business person, not just in U.S. He has business all over the world, definitely all over. He has real estate property in Beijing, very expensive hotel, Trump. Right? It's not Trump hotel, it's not this name, but have the investments. Definitely in Japan, in Korea, he has a lot of investment. So that is okay. I don't want you guys become critical thinker, not just listen, president or any big name say, oh, well you look at that. Everything has the cons and pros. Right? We know that if you go outsourcing, if you find international trading, that you sacrifice something. But instead you earn something. Okay, it's your battle. Take the advantage. That's my suggestion. Right? So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. He spent a lot of time in East Asia. That's a reason. That's because East Asia is really booming for the whole region, except North Korea is always a problem, right? But except for this country, all other country like their economy is very very good. So that definitely okay. If you do the global business, you want to that's definitely a region you should consider to work with supplier or demand or customer. Responsibility. Okay, very interesting. Okay. The first one, legal. To know the law and the regulation of a country where supply chain exists, obeying the laws and operating to conform the regulation. Okay. This morning, when I sent my daughter to the elementary school, I hate the schedule of elementary school. They begin class on 7:45, right? So that means I have to wake up so early. But anyway, during the road, I sent her to the elementary school. I listened to NPR. Okay, very interesting topic they are talking about is about the U.S. law about the international briberies, corruption. So basically, U.S. we have a law. We say, okay, we forbid any U.S. company to do any international corruption, even that is legal in international country. You understand, right? I give you some money, it's totally legal. As I said, okay, some countries say $10,000 under that is legal. You can't say, but that they are different countries have different laws. So we have these laws for like many years. Right? We obey the laws. Usually it's fine because when US is so strong, was so strong before, you go to foreign country, I say we don't play this game. Right? We play our game. They say, okay, you are a US company, you have your rule, that's okay. But especially in the past 10 or 20 years, you understand, right? So global competition becomes so fierce. And then US companies still follow the rule. They feel trouble, they complain a lot. They say, okay, we have comparative disadvantage, right? When compared with other companies. Because everybody do some kind of corruption, bribery. We can't do that. Because like, our governments, back to US, say we cannot do that. What do you think about that? Before I talk about president's opinion or some other opinion, what do you think about it? We have this law. We say our country's company, you go to the world, you obey the rule. You become the moral authority, role model. You don't do any corruption. And on the other hand, in business, we understand, right? That creates some kind of disadvantage for the company. What do you think about that? It's like a dilemma, right? Any thoughts? It's good.
You have to find a happy medium.
Happy medium, right? Okay, so do you think the law should be modified a little bit, or?
Yeah, it needs to be relaxed a little bit because there comes a point where you have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be a moral authority to a degree, but you also have to have the ability to compete. And if you don't compete, then eventually you lose your status in the world and you don't have that moral authority.
Very good. It's like chicken and eggs, right? You have this moral authority because you already then you can do that. But when your level is not so high, and you still keep that level, and then okay, that's you can expect what's his future. Good point. Any other idea? Anybody think we should keep that moral authority, like high standard for all U.S. companies? Dylan?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe we should, just for the
Keep that.
reason that we need to set an example, especially if we're doing business and trade. If we decide, okay, bribery's okay, and then we start doing it in our own country, it doesn't sound like a good model for international business.
Mm-hmm. I agree. In the ideal world, definitely, I think everybody should do. But I think Alan's point is like practical, right? So, ideology, everybody agree that's pure. Maybe we should set a higher bar for the corruption in U.S., not just international, right? We still have some corruption in any country. I don't know. I'm not a good candidate to talk about this topic, but I just want to raise your idea. You think about that. That's when the world is changing so fast. Many things works before, especially after Soviet Union break down. That U.S. was the only superpower in the world for so many years. Well, U.S. enjoy a lot of time, right? 20 years after Soviet Union, okay, the big enemy falling down, and then U.S. sets the law, become the world police, and then everything goes well. Well, everybody like U.S. brand. So that's what is changing. U.S. still a superpower, but he's not in that position as Adam mentioned. Let's talk about president's idea. Okay, it's very interesting. Before he become president, he speak out. He say, "This doesn't make sense." He said, "That's no doesn't make sense." As a business person, he's a business person. He say, "Okay, this just creates problem for our U.S. companies competing globally. That's he said that during the interview with some CNN before. But the Jeff Sessions, okay, he just emphasized recently, have no idea, no plan to change the law. He just want to enforce the law. I think that's also the opinion of the whole government, right? So you can see the point is that, like Alan, when you are in the business world, you have some opinion. But once you become president, okay, or the governor, then you have different position. You want to have like moral authority, right? Set a role model. So it's really, I think the debates will continue. Definitely will continue. But that's also president or anybody travel to foreign, they want to negotiate, discuss with foreign leaders. So that's well, you can see that it's unfair for U.S. company, right? But it's really unfair. You want to have a higher regulation on your country's corruption. Okay, that's what we can do. But before other countries set the similar criteria as U.S., I think these debates will continue. Frankly speaking, I'm not so perfect candidate to talk about my opinion, so I won't talk about my opinion, but just want to raise your discussion. Okay, that's legal part. You can see it's really hard to handle. Economic. Supplying the product and service to meet demand as efficient as possible. Okay, definitely is all the class we have covered about that. Ethical part, even is legal, right? In a way that consistent with the moral standard of society. Well, personally, I think that's why it's really hard. I mean, well, even that's US, you can't give penalty for the company. That's okay. They follow their regulation, right? You can't do that. But many organizations they boycott Walmart or McDonald's because they use cheap labors overseas, even it's totally legal, right? So it's like social image, right? So strategy, certain strategic responsibility impacts on the success of both supply chain and also business itself, such as supply chain strategy alignments, network configuration, which means okay, you want to configure your supply network. IT, like Joseph has mentioned, okay, you want to have an IT infrastructure to help the supply chain management. Product service, capacity planning, we have covered that. Strategic partnership, we'll talk about that. Distribution strategy, we'll talk about location planning, is related to distribution strategy. Like for example, central location or decentralized location design, right? This is related to the distribution strategy. Uncertainty and the risk reduction. But that's the hardest part nowadays. Tactical versus operational responsibility. Tactical is like high level, right? Long term, forecasting, sourcing, operation plan, inventory management, transportation, collaboration. Operational is like daily or weekly job, like scheduling, which will cover next chapter, receiving, transforming, order fulfillment. Also, inventory management can be long term and also short term. Right? Shipping, information sharing, controlling. For the information sharing, okay, you know that in the online class, usually every chapter we have a discussion topic for students. In my online class of this class, for this chapter, one discussion topic is about information sharing. I ask the student online, say, okay, if you are a company or in the supply chain, you definitely want to share information with your partners in the supply chain, right? Which types of information you think you are fine to share? And what kind of information you think you may hesitate to share? Any opinion? We should share information. Do you agree with that? If we don't share information, that's no collaboration, right? That's no way to collaborate. You just order, receive. That's a very 100 years ago business model. Okay, everybody agree we should share some kind of information. What kind of information you think is okay to share?
Some sales, some of the information where they need to know in order to do their own forecasting to be a good part of the program.
You think about, okay, let's give an example, okay, like let's say Procter and Walmart. Procter & Gamble and Walmart. Okay, everybody knows these two companies, right? Procter & Gamble is a supplier for Walmart. Walmart purchases shampoo, soap, different products from Procter & Gamble every week, right? Okay, so Alan's point is that Walmart should share its sales data with Procter & Gamble. Do you agree with that? It's very helpful, right? For P&G, for their forecasting, right? Agree? Okay, sales. Any other thing you probably want to share or is helpful? Not just you think it's helpful. If Walmart, I'm a Walmart. Some information I give to P&G and it's helpful for them, for their management. Sales, Anything else? Dylan?
Possibly how you train your employees and like what their jobs are.
So it's about people, right? Especially when the people change, you want to tell your supplier. Another thing you should think about is the inventory information. The reason is that, okay, if you have a higher inventory level, P&G know probably you are order less this cycle, right? Because your current inventory level is high. On the other hand, if you already experience short stock outs, P&G prepare, okay, you will order a lot this cycle, right? So that's very helpful. Anything you don't want to sell, even that they have very good relationship between P&G and Walmart. Dylan?
Probably your processes or what goes into your product.
Okay, that can be. Any other sensitive information?
Maybe if it was like a Facebook or Twitter kind of thing, like certain kind of coding, they
Oh,
would
yeah,
want to share.
definitely. Code you don't want to share for sure, right? That's it. Another thing is financial information you want to share, usually. You want to share any like income or something like that. Your profit margin is very sensitive because if you share the profit margin, right, or P&G will complain or they say, oh, you earn such a big amount, right? Why not? Right? You want to hide that. Well, everybody know your purchase cost and your selling price. P&G know that, but you can hide your labor cost, operation cost. You don't need to tell them. Okay, what is the true profit margin? Right? That's the financial information. So just be careful when sharing, but you should also be open-minded that you have to share information, some kind of information, to enhance the collaboration between you and your partner. The procurement is the purchase department responsible for obeying the material parts, supplies, and service which are necessary to produce or provide a service. That's procurement, it's purchase. The goal for the procurement is develop and implement the purchase plans for products and services that support operation strategy. So it's very important, especially nowadays. When we talk about, well, I propose a new class in MBA level. It's contribute to supply chain management concentration in our MBA curriculum. It's called procurement and global sourcing. So you can see that procurement is important. But why I add global sourcing? Because nowadays, when we talk about procurement, usually you have candidates globally. It's not like North Carolina, South Carolina supplier. You are not just focused on this local supplier. Then it's become very complex. A lot of company people can provide these material parts all over the world. And you have to choose the best. You can. It's not easy. It requires lots of experience. One thing I tell you is that once you are very good, have experience on purchasing, the salary is pretty decent. I believe most company pay at least 6 figures or even higher, like 150 something like that for the procurement manager. And definitely it requires lots of traveling, and also other skill experience. So the interface for purchasing, you should consider operations costs, legal issue, accounting, IT, design, receiving, and definitely suppliers. Can be anybody. Responsibility of purchasing. First, can be the hardest one. Identify the sources of supply. Because we talk about, usually you want multiple suppliers. Right? Don't want to rely on single supplier. It's very risky. It can be the hardest one. Right? Contract negotiation. Right? Contract negotiation. That's also, it's hard. Well, one thing is that the contract seems now in favor of you nowadays. Maybe after 5-10 years later, it's not in favor of you. You can say the best contracts at the current stage, but also you should make kind of forecast what will change in the next 3-5 years if we want to have a long-term relationship. Maintaining a database of the suppliers, managing them. Get the goods and service and manage your suppliers. The purchasing cycle, very simple. First, receive the requisition. Select a supplier from different reliable suppliers. Place an order with a vendor, the supplier you selected. Monitor the order, like tracking information to see, okay, and see the quantity, receive the orders. Supplier management, okay, is included choosing the suppliers, which we talk about is extremely hard already. Supplier audits, okay, you check their quality, reliability, and also risk, and give the certification for the supplier, and manage the relationship, and finally, supplier partnership, the highest level. CPFR, collaborative planning, forecasting, and replenishment. So many companies they work together, use CPFR to improve their, like, for example, forecasting. Strategic partnership. So for the collaboration partnership, P&G and Walmart are very good example for that. They have done that so many years. Now basically we have discussed Walmart share the sales information, share the inventory information for P&G. So but the Walmart's benefit is that Walmart don't worry about order. P&G decide order quantity. P&G say, okay, you should order 100 units this week. I will ship to you 100 units. Right? P&G say you need to you order 150, ship to that. Walmart don't worry about the order. Okay, he just providing information for P&G. Both companies are very powerful. Right? They have mutual benefits. But then P&G also save money. They know better downstream data. They save money. On the other hand, Walmart also save money because they don't worry about this function anymore. So it's like win-win situation. But you think about it, it's really hard to build this trust from beginning stage. And also, it really depends on the bargaining power. Because P&G and Walmart, they are similar. They're also in the same industry, right? But they are the leading company in their industry. So they probably can have a pretty fair contracts between them. But if you are a small supplier for Walmart, can you manage their inventory? No. Can you get the information? Most likely Walmart say, that's mine. Okay, I don't want to share the information with you. Why bother? I probably will switch the supplier next week. So that's a different story. But that's our goal, right? Hopefully you will reach this supplier partnership. Vendor analysis, supply audits, and supply certification. Analysis is to evaluate the sources of the supply in different factors, right? Such as price, quality, reputation, and service. Well, when you guys shopping on eBay, right? You search something, right? Like electronic products, usually on eBay, where you sort the products by any criteria, or just recommended by eBay. Any filter you will do that when you source the products? No? Price? Where you source by price? Or sometimes, right? I usually source by price. Okay. After you source by price, will you just go to the cheapest one to purchase? No?
Yes.
Yes? Kayla? You really go to the cheapest one, always. Okay.
No, not always.
Okay. Anything else? Maybe we should pay attention.
Are they usually reviews? Because reviews will tell you if
Review probably is related to the quality or reputation, right? So usually I did the same as Kayla. Okay, go to eBay. Well, first I only purchase like small stuff on eBay because, right, you understand the risk probably is higher than Amazon or like Target for sure. So even small stuff like my glasses cases, right? So that's just like several bucks, right? Or USB wire or something like that. I source by price, that's for sure. But usually the lowest price seller has very few, right? Like evaluation, recommendation. And then I will be very cautious. I probably will choose another like $1 higher or something like with a good reputation. So that's my strategy. But as you can see, even during our daily shopping, we already combine these several factors together. Another thing, service. Okay, I told you guys, right? One time I ordered something from eBay. I didn't check the origin country of the seller. It's from China. I place the order. I find, okay, I need to wait for 2 months to get that. So I have to order again from Walmart, right? Which I guess like in 1 week. So that's a service. You can't say this is a bad seller. Is that satisfy many customer requirement if you can wait? But the service is different, right? So definitely, when you are doing business, you want to think about more carefully or different factors. All these suppliers. Okay. To keep current on your supplier's production, capability, quantity, delivery problem, and resolutions, and all other criteria. Basically, your supplier change. Okay, you want to know what is current stage. They can be affected by the political issue in that country. If you're a foreign supplier, they can affect by like in the U.S. like labor union boycott, something like that. anything significant happen in supply, for your supply, you should know that. You should monitor that. You should prepare for that. Certification is a detailed examination of a supplier's policy and capability. This is a process to verify the supplier, to see whether it meets or even exceeds the requirements. If it can't meet, most likely you want to switch the supplier. As this gives a warning to say you have to meet our criteria in like 1 month. Relation management between you and your supplier. There are 3 types of relationship. The first one, short term. Minimal interaction. It's like we shop on eBay, right? Like we source by price, just purchase one time. We don't remember, okay, which seller. Well, we don't have the intention to buy it again from this seller. Well, that's really short term. Medium term involve an ongoing relationship. I know you for a while. Okay, we can't share a lot of information with you, but we'll see. Okay, what we can do in the future. That's ongoing. Finally, long term, a lot of cooperation into a partnership, like P&G and Walmart, like Foxconn and Apple. Well, they have very, very good long-term relationship. Strategic partner is 2 or more business organizations have complementary products or service joined so that each may realize a strategic benefit. So for example, when the supplier agrees to hold inventory for a customer, then the customer on the other hand say, okay, I will purchase from you for the next 5 years. So that's become a strategic partnership. Okay, what's the benefit from customer if the supplier agrees to hold inventory for you?
Holding cost is reduced, or warehouse space that you would need is reduced.
Very good. First, the inventory cost. Second is the warehouse. Rental costs or property tax reduce a lot. Then what's the benefit for supplier? I hold inventory for you. I ship your customer direction. Order from you, I direct ship to the customer. What's the benefit on me? Any benefits for this relationship for the supplier? I have higher cost, right? I hold inventory for you.
Guaranteed sales.
Yes.
That's one
Stable demand. Right? You have very stable revenue source. That's the benefits for sure. Right? So that's happened for many businesses. So for example, they have outsourced to some website. You order from websites, right? But it's shipped from different places all over the world. Contrasting the supply relationship, you should consider first one, number of suppliers. Okay. Okay, if you have a partner, you usually have one or a few, just a handful of suppliers. Otherwise, you have a lot. Length of relationship, partner is long term, the rest is maybe short term, brief. Low price. Okay, if you don't have a partner, it can be a major consideration. Well, it's still important. Well, even you have a partner, but it's moderately important. Reliability, definitely, partner is very, very important if you reach this level. Be open to each other, very high for the supply partnership. Quality, vendor certified for the partner. Okay. And flexibility is pretty high if you have good relationship. Okay, that's pretty much. Next, talk about logistics. Okay, logistics. I think I write something here before, right? Everybody remember? So, logistics is a subset of supply chain management. SCM represents what? SCM.
Supply chain management.
Very good. Okay. Almost the end of semester, everybody understand, right? OM. What does OM mean? Operation management. So that's the sets. Okay, if we talk about sets, OM is the biggest sets, right? That's why supply chain is chapter 15 of operation management class, right? It's a subset. Logistic is again, it's a small subset of supply chain management. So I definitely want you guys to understand that, because, like for example, yesterday, not yesterday, 2 days ago, Monday, I conducted an exit interview for my former students. You guys will go to this exit interview very soon, right? It's for the passport program. So basically, for your last semester, you will graduate, and then some faculty will conduct this exit interview for you to ask you about the experience in school business? You like that, or something you don't like that? What suggestion we can give to you, or you give back to us? So basically, I have previous students. Okay, like took my class maybe 1 year ago, and I conducted the X interview for him, and he want to pursue the career in logistic field, like a cargo company, something like that. He also plan after 1 or 2 years, he want to come back to UNCP, study MBA program with the concentration of supply chain management. Then I asked him this question, do you know the relationship between logistics and supply chain? He didn't know that. I say, I tell you, okay, you have to know that. Let's emphasize again. Okay, logistics is a subset of supply chain, and that is a subset of operation management. At least during the interview, you definitely should know that, right? So for the logistics, we're talking about like this student really want to go to the cargo company. Basically, logistics have usually people refer to the transportation management. We talk about logistics. Well, it's different, but you can think about that way. So it refers to the movement of material, service, cash, and information in a supply chain. But if you think about it, all of this doesn't mention about the collaboration, which we spend lots of time on supply chain management. It's collaboration, right? It's about movement of material, service, cash, and information. But how to use that? For example, information is also a topic of logistics. It include internal movements within a facility. That's easy. Definitely the incoming shipment and outgoing shipment, transportation management. That can be important things, right? I also have some students work in military. They told me that okay, logistics is so important in military, and from what I know, military still use this logistic and this old fashion to talk about. In fact, is supply chain management, right? But you can see it is very important. You should know that if you want to pursue the job in the related field. So within a facility, okay, that can be from when you receive that and put in the storage area. That's what Amazon did. That when I work for Amazon, they have very huge warehouse. So that's they have a front door here and the back door there. So that's like 100 yards away. So it's not like our castle. So the front door is the incoming trucks. Okay, early in the morning. Okay, they will unload the products from incoming delivery. And they have this space, a huge place, right? All the pallets here, wait for the storage. So they just put all the stuff here at early in the morning. That's the storage place. And it goes to the working center or go to the storage. For Amazon, it's pretty easy. They can put it on different shelf, different area, right? But if we talk about production, that's different. Go to the work centers and then finish the products and make the inventory. And then all components, and then again receive the order and produce that, go to the storage place for the finished good, and then finally go out to ship from back door. As in Amazon, okay, they have different trucks every day go to different place. One interesting thing you should know that for many companies, the same as Amazon, they have different shipping method. That's logistic, right? Especially for outgoing, you can choose FedEx, overland shipping, right? You can choose UPS, you can choose USPS. Okay. There are different service level, even some flights, right? So that's about logistics. Incoming and outgoing shipments. So the traffic management is to oversee the shipments of incoming and outgoing goods. It is related to the schedule and decision on shipping method and the time. Taking into account should be the cost of different method. FedEx, UPS, USPS. Which one is the cheapest one usually? FedEx, UPS, USPS. USPS. Which one usually is the most expensive one? FedEx. Right. But it's really your choice. It's really your choice. It depends on what's your. For example, USPS is cheapest one, and then usually it's pretty reliable. If you select priority mail, yeah, usually priority. But I had a very bad experience. Okay, several months ago, I have to review my passport. So I sent my passport to the Chinese embassy in DC. I first used the USPS service. For whatever reason, they reject or they didn't deliver. It's with me 1 month. I get it back. Wait for 1 month to get my passport, all the passport back. And then I use FedEx overnight shipping, spend like triple the money, right? And then I get my new passport back in like 1 week. So I can't say it's a USPS problem, but it's happened more frequently. Another thing is another about my passport. I don't know why it's always USPS doesn't work very well for my passport. Like 2 years ago, I plan to travel to Vancouver, right? And also, I think that I don't know why. Oh, I applied the Canada visa because I'm not a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen, you don't need a Canadian visa. You can just travel to Canada. So I applied the visa in the embassy in New York, or not embassy or some, maybe embassy, I forget. Okay, and then they ship back to me. I tracked that USPS. I say I will receive arrive Fayetteville like 3 days before I fly to Vancouver. It's fine, right? And then it's interesting. 2 days before I left, this package was transferred from Fayetteville to Wilmington. I live in Fayetteville. I call you. I say, what's happened? I should receive. I look at that every day. It's already here yesterday. Now it's in Wilmington. They say, oh, that's our mistake. I said, I have a flight tomorrow. You told me that's okay. It's already in Wilmington. Oh, that's really hard. So I called them early in the morning. They finally, some people tell me, okay, which post office in Wilmington had my passport. I called him, please hold my letter. I will drive to your place today. So I drive 2 hours one way, next day, come back, and I catch the flights the next morning to Vancouver. So I don't know, but maybe they don't like my passport for USPS. So you see, no, I'm in the blacklist, I don't know, but just pay attention, right? So different carrier have very different service level, very different, right? And the cost definitely different. Government's regulation, okay? For example, you in the US, for international shipping, there are lots of things you can't ship to US, right? Food, right? You guys, if you guys travel overseas, you want to be very careful, okay? Any country, you don't want to bring like meat, like pork, beef back to US. Right? It's will be prohibited. You don't want to go to the blacklist of customs, right? The problem is that once you are in the blacklist, probably in the next 10 years, every time you come back to US, they will open your luggage. It's wastes a lot of time. Every time, once you're in that blacklist, right? So just pay attention to that, right? But some other thing like I think fish is acceptable, but also double check. Okay, don't assume I know everything, right? List of organization, shipping delays or disruptions. So that's traffic management. So it's pretty challenging if we talk about, okay, your parcel is overseas especially, right? That's lots of choice, a lot of regulations. You think about a lot of problems that when we have a supply overseas, usually it's not direct from Japan to US. It's where pass like Australia, Mexico, and then US. Or even you pass the port, they have their own regulation whether this product can park in our ports for like 1 day, right? So you want to follow the regulation, understand that. RFID, the radio frequency identification, is very, very useful to track the goods. It's very similar to barcode. Everybody know barcode, I will assume. Okay, what is barcode? Anybody? What is barcode?
Is that a barcode?
Uh-huh.
Scan.
You are working in
when
Walmart.
You scan it,
Yes.
it'll deduct the inventory like once you,
Yes.
scan the barcode.
You work in Walmart, right, Sydney?
No, Food Lion.
Oh, Full Line, so sorry about that. That's you had a competitor. So yeah, every grocery store they have the barcode, right? So you have scanned that, it's go direct to your inventory database. Okay, you check out or return that, then they add to your inventory database. That's barcode. RFID is more powerful than barcode. Okay, it conveys much more information, such as the origin of the products, the place, right? Such as the process of these products. Okay, something like that. It do not require line of size of reading. So barcode we have to scan. Right? We have to scan that. Okay. But RFID, that's you think about if every product have RFID, you check out is very simple. You just push your cards. They will have the signal to every products. But unfortunately, we shouldn't do that because it's too expensive to have all the products have RFID. This can be read as one time for all different items. Increase the supply chain visibility, improve the inventory management, improve the quality control, enhance the relationship. But still, again, many companies, they still only have a barcode, right, during the transportation. That's so common. RFID is still not so common for all the supply chain. Carry the products have RFID. So barcode usually is fine. Like even Amazon, they have barcode, right? Scan that and then go to FedEx car or USPS car. Okay, third-party logistics. What does this mean? Anybody heard of that before? Third-party logistics? Anybody heard of that before? Dylan? What do you think? In your opinion, what does third-party logistics mean?
Hire somebody else to do all your logistics. You
Yes.
don't deal with it.
Basically, it's outsourcing. When we talk about third parties, means outsourcing. So traditionally, a company has their own trucks and drivers, right? They have transportation team, right? We ship to the customer. But nowadays, you think very few companies they have their own trucks and drivers. Still, Walmart, for Lion, they have, right? But if you are not in that business, you have to outsource to the USPS, FedEx, whatever, right? To do that. But it's not just for the transportation. It's also include the warehouse. Okay, that's maybe new for some of you. So distribution we understand. Okay, you use USPS, UPS. That's everybody use that. But warehouse, do you know any example? We outsource our inventory or warehouse management to a third party. Do you know that?
Cold storage places a lot of times will be third party
Storage place.
because of the cost of building it yourself. It's
Yeah.
easier to rent space in a cold storage.
Yeah, that's a good example. It's for
Trying
more
to
like
build one of those.
personal use lots, right? Amazon is a leading company for the providing the warehouse service for different parties. So if you are doing the business with Amazon, say I don't want to manage our stuff, you pay Amazon commission fee, right? They will carry your products and you sell on Amazon.com and then ship direct from distribution center of Amazon. So it's happened. Right? So that's for warehouse and also distribution. There's potential benefits include the specialist knowledge, like Amazon, they are the leading company on inventory management. They probably, even you pay the commission fee, it's still cheaper than you manage your own inventory. Right? Well-developed information system, again, you can't compete with Amazon, Walmart on their information system. Right? Ability to obtain more favorable shipping rates, definitely. Right? They negotiate with USPS, you can't get these rates. Right? So that's why we should consider third-party logistics. Okay, nowadays, that's another jargon, I would say, that jargon in this industry called fourth-party logistics. Anybody have any clue what does fourth-party logistics mean? We know third-party, so why outsourcing? Fourth-party logistics. Nobody? Okay, I know it's pretty hard. Well, generally speaking, fourth-party just, I think it's a fancy name, but if you know that, you can talk about that when you have interview or work with someone. In fact, fourth-party logistics is like consulting job. So like, okay, I don't know which third party I should choose. Right? Is any also there are lots of people. I consult somebody. They are fourth-party logistics. They give us a solution, right? But it's not themselves to provide the solution. Okay, they just tell us, okay, what you should do. Like transportation, you should use USPS. Warehouse, you should Amazon. Some other things. So that's called a fourth-party logistics. But you see, Charles, I talk a lot of jargons or something happening in that to you because finally after 1 year you guys will go to industry, right? Most of you guys, right? It's very important for my students, all the students here to prepare for the interview. You compete with people all over the country, right? You know this jargon even that simple, and hopefully it can at some point during the interview process. Okay, I'll post the case study today. The due date is the Monday after next week. Same thing, unless somebody complain with me.
Finally,